Well, hi there, it's Timmy Joe, and you know what? We're swapping video cards. I just went and on Kijiji, Canada's version of Craigslist, I picked up this monstrosity of a GeForce GTX 770. This isn't even a TI, but it's a massively super clocked video card, and I got it for $140 Canadian, which is a steal of a deal in my opinion. I have a computer there. It has a GTX 660, so this is going to be quite the upgrade for me. And I find that the 660 actually runs games and stuff fairly well as it is. And then over here, I have a computer on the wall. That's my server. It actually runs the television that's directly behind this wall. So what's cool is it's back here. You can't hear it. You can't see it. But it's a Dell T3500. It's got a Xeon processor in it, 16 gigs of RAM, but it has weird old Quadro video cards, which are like server video cards from like 5-6 years ago. So what I'm going to do is take the video card out of my computer and put this one in it, take the video card out of that one, put it in here, that way we can play
Resident Evil
Biohazard on the TV upstairs. So let's go ahead and get started. I think I'd show you guys how to switch video cards and come along for the journey. Cool! Pew! Like I said, this is just an abomination of a computer. The case on it is probably the ugliest case I've ever seen. An MSI GTX 660. Just about as big. Cool. And yeah, it's got some Corsair memory, 2 solid-state drives, a regular old terabyte hard drive, and I think this is a 750 watt Antec power supply. So ample power. I was hoping to eventually get like a 1050, just so that I had the most current generation, but so you always want to like touch stuff to ground yourself so you're not sparking things, as well as some people just hate the way I'm going to do this because I'm just going to do it all ass backwards like. But at the same time, whoa, what is going on here? Why is that caught in there? The fan connector was routed through that wire. Twin Frozer versus an EVGA. So I wonder how really, these are probably kind of comparable video cards. See if she'll just slot right in here without too much of a hassle. Ooh, feels good. Now, with that being some old Xeon computer, I'm worried that I might have some sort of issues trying to put a newer video card in it, but we'll see what happens. I have upgraded the power supply in that computer though, so it should take this crazy thing. If you're getting a video card that is a 660 series, like a 660, 670, or a 1060, 1070, you're going to need extra power coming from your power supply. You gotta all check that. What's really cool is the 50 series, although they're still pretty good video cards, they don't require any extra power, so I always recommend going with one of those if you're unsure about it. This should be easy. It's just a matter of popping this thing. Yeah. If you'll notice, this is the video card I'm putting in it, and those two little teeny video cards are in there. Quadro 600s from back when this was some sort of a workstation. This was probably like a $4,500 computer when it was new, but now not so much. Has a really weird little heatsink on it though. Let's get her apart. inside of that. So it's weird because that's the CPU, and it doesn't even have a fan on that heatsink, which I never realized. I upgraded this to a 600 watt power supply before. And then we have quad channel memory, and I've got 4 DIMMs in here, or sorry, 3 channel, and I don't really have this set up right, I don't think. I think I should definitely have either 3 or 6 sets of DIMMs, but I got 4, so I don't know if one is screwing that up, but I'm not the smartest computer mammer jammer. So yeah, we see, oh okay, we want to be using this blue one, I think. Yeah. Just got to make sure you have this cord too, because this is how we're connecting the power to it. And I just had to root through a lot of cords I had to find this. This provides the 2 6-pin powers coming out of the... There we go. Now will this close? Questionable. So I got this closed, but it's definitely squishing everything down here. So we'll see if it all works. But we got 2-3 terabytes. There's another 3 terabyte down in here. And then this thing's an adapter that allows it to have 2 2.5 inch drives and a 3.5 inch drive in there. So I got a jimmy rig of a setup. There's actually 6 hard drives in that thing in total. Just break it out of there anyways. Now I've got this power cable running through there. I don't even want to mess with that. Fucking Hulk smash it, you know? There we go. Huh. This server was another Kijiji buy. I think I got it for 200 bucks. The guy didn't know what he had. Well, it clips together. Noticeable hump. Yeah, hump. Whew, that cannot be good. There we go. That's the new video card. Yay, we're playing the video game on the TV with the Xbox remote. This girl looks really weird. Conclusion, we got this all up and running and we're playing scary Resident Evil. So in conclusion, can you use a Dell Precision T3500 as a gaming PC? Well, since my version at least has a Xeon quad core with hyperthreading, even though it kind of compares to the first generation of Core i7, them's a lot of cores to be working with. So as long as your game isn't very CPU intensive on just one core, you're going to do fine with a multi-threaded work environment or whatever, or game, as well as adding a video card into this particular Dell. You know, it had its ups and its downs. The original power supply that came with that Dell, not a good idea. It did not have a lot of external connectors. Now I'm sure it would be powerful enough, but you'd be dealing with like changing Molex connectors over to the 6 or 8 pins. You want to avoid all that. I would say switch the power supply out, which I did, which was kind of an ordeal originally. I needed to clip some wires and kind of make it work. And then as you saw, I had to break some plastic pieces off to get it all fit. It made the hard drive tray kind of hard to access, so I'll leave it up to you, but it does 65.59 frames per second in Cinebench on the OpenGL score. And then just for kicks, we'll run the CPU. Now I have 16 gigs of DDR3 ECC memory, ECC being the error checking memory, the good memory. This computer will run all day long. It's got loads of hard drives in it, but it's got some pretty huge fans in it, so I don't see it being a problem with it overheating. I've never had an overheating issue with it. It runs really, really awesome. So I'd say if you can pick up one of these Dells and you're not too concerned with like running the absolute latest and greatest frame rates, if you can throw a fairly decent video card in it, then it's definitely worth turning into a gaming PC kind of on a budget. Like I said, I got this thing for like $200. I've done a lot of upgrades to it since, so I might be all into it for like $500 or $600 said and done. But you know, that's including a lot of hard drives, a solid state drive, a better power supply. So I think on the whole, I did pretty good. We're running here. We'll just let this finish off. And gets a 419 Cinebench score, so that is not very good. The E series, low megahertz, 2.5 gigahertz, not very high. But as you can see, it actually works fairly well with Resident Evil. So I'd say go ahead and give it a shot if you can find one for a good price. Timmy, Joe out!